Hello and welcome. My name is, well, you can think of me as your hotel AI expert. I have extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support, and I am absolutely delighted to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey. We are really looking forward to supporting your professional growth in this amazing industry. This program is designed specifically for students and professionals like you, people who are seeking practical, real-world knowledge that you can actually use in hotel operations.
So, here's a quick roadmap of what we'll be covering. First, we'll challenge the idea of the unavoidable cost. Then, we'll look at why managing energy is a new imperative. After that, we'll dive into how AI actually creates efficiency. We'll also explore how this saves money and builds your brand. And finally, we'll look at what this all means for the future of hospitality.
All right, let's start with a concept that has been around for decades. When a hotel manager looks at their profit and loss statement, there's always one line item that feels, well, almost like an act of God: utilities.
It was just seen as a fact of life, right? The cost of electricity, gas, water, that's just the price you pay to keep your guests comfortable and your operation running. But the big question we need to ask today is that still true? Is it really a fixed cost you just have to accept?
I mean, the traditional thinking made sense. A full hotel means the AC is running everywhere, the kitchens are working overtime, and the laundry is going nonstop. So these costs were seen as just unavoidable, a passive bill that you just had to pay at the end of every single month.
But here's the thing. That old way of thinking isn't just a little outdated anymore. It's fast becoming a major financial problem. The world is changing, and some powerful new forces are challenging that old cost of doing business mindset.
And it really comes down to two major pressures. First, global energy prices are all over the place, and they're generally trending up, which puts a real squeeze on your profit margins. And second, there's a huge, growing demand from everyone, from your investors, your corporate clients, and even your guests, for hotels to operate sustainably and meet what we call ESG goals.
And this is probably the most important shift for any future leader in our industry to understand. Sustainability isn't just about doing the right thing anymore. It's now a core financial strategy. It's about being smart, competitive, and ultimately more profitable.
So, this brings us to the really exciting part, the solution. How do you take one of your biggest, most passive expenses and turn it into something you can actively control and find savings in? Well, the answer, as you might have guessed, is technology, specifically artificial intelligence.
So how does this actually work? It's not as complicated as it sounds. It's really a four-step process. First, the AI system collects a ton of data, everything from past utility bills to real-time information from sensors around the property. Then, it crunches all that data to analyze energy patterns everywhere: HVAC, kitchens, you name it. This lets it find what we call efficiency gaps. And finally, it gives the hotel team clear, specific actions to take to save energy.
And when we say efficiency gap, we're not talking about some vague concept. It's a very specific, measurable moment of energy waste. You can think of it as the gap between how a piece of equipment should be running and how it's actually running in the real world.
Let me give you a couple of real-world examples. The AI might spot that the air conditioning in a ballroom is on full blast, even though the room is empty and there are no events scheduled for hours. Or it could detect that a water pump is suddenly using 30% more electricity than it usually does, which is a huge red flag that it needs maintenance before it fails completely. These are things that even the best engineering team could easily miss.
So, you find the waste, you get the recommendations. What's the payoff? This is where this strategy gets incredibly powerful, because it doesn't just give you one benefit, it gives you two, and they're both vital for any modern hotel.
The first and most obvious impact is right on the bottom line. By following through on the recommendations from the AI, hotels can realistically cut their total utility costs by 15 to 20%. For a large hotel, that is a massive annual saving.
So, you see, it's a complete shift in perspective. You're moving from a passive expense to active control. What was once an unavoidable cost becomes a huge savings opportunity. And all that boring, manual work of reporting on your environmental impact, that becomes automated, accurate, and available in an instant.
All of this automated data then creates a powerful new tool, a green score. And believe me, this is not just some feel-good marketing term. It is a verifiable, data-backed metric that proves your hotel's commitment to efficiency.
This is a game changer for marketing, and it's something that big corporate clients are now demanding to see in RFPs before they book with you.
So it really is the ultimate win-win. You're no longer choosing between being profitable and being responsible. With this approach, strong financial discipline and great environmental stewardship actually fuel each other.
Okay, let's bring this all home. What we're talking about here isn't just a fancy new gadget for the engineering department. It's a fundamental change in how we need to think about running a hotel business.
By embracing this kind of technology, you're doing so much more than just saving some money on your electricity bill. You are transforming sustainability from a simple nice-to-have into a real, tangible competitive advantage. You're positioning your hotel as a smart, forward-thinking, and responsible brand that people want to do business with.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. A question for you as the next generation of hospitality leaders. The operational data is all around you. The technology to analyze it is here right now. So the real question is, how will you use it to turn simple numbers into your greatest strategic asset? Something for you to think about.